What's good, everybody? It's your boy Carcino here, man. Let's talk about this. I want to say shouts out to everybody that's been showing love and support to the page. You guys have been clicking the like button and subscribing. I appreciate that. Definitely do that and hit the notification bell that select all. Please do that. Because we're going to get to this and then I want to speak on it because some very key points was made here. Very key and telling things. When this whole thing came down, Jay Williams was against Kyrie Irving's statement. He sat on ESPN and told millions of viewers Kyrie Irving what he did was wrong and how he didn't think about what he was doing and all of these different things. Jay Williams was one of those people that echoed that. But I respected his approach because he gave clarity as to why he went the way that he did. And just said, just take it down, apologize. It was, in the time that we're in right now, any type of division or anything that could cause division is a distraction. So to get rid of that, just to eliminate that notion, that was more key than anything in the world. So I felt that was very interesting and very telling. But enough of that. We got to get to a point, like he said, he's risking his job to do what he's doing. And everyone's like, man, he's risking his job. Once we got to say that, thank you. Thank you for anybody that's saying bless you. Because, man, my allergies is on full blast today. But here's the news. When we got to say, man, he might lose his job for saying that, then it echoes everything that Kyrie Irving was talking about. It personifies it to an epic proportion. Because why should this man have to lose his job? Why should he have to go through that? Why should this man have to lose his job for stating his opinion on what he feels? When you guys can do it anytime you want. And you can have this fake outrage over something you don't know about or don't even care about. Let's listen to Jay Williams.
Every day of my life, I approach it with a state of empathy, right? Regardless of what color, what creed, what race you are, I look at people as human beings. I think that's important.
Same as me.
But life is always about taking a stand and holding principles. So I want to explain what I feel like my stance is as a black male in this world, okay? And conversations that I've had with my brothers and sisters in the black community. And I want you guys to empathize with it and hear me on it. So when I hear what Kyrie Irving has to go through in order to be reinstated, I'm appalled. I'm appalled. And let me give you examples of how I feel like we don't have the same energy and hold other people who have dealt with racial tropes accountable. So when Sarah Silverman does blackface, or when Don Imus says nappy-headed hose, or when Howard Stern calls somebody the N-word in the skit, or when Brett Favre takes money from the state of Mississippi, we don't ask them to get sensitivity training. We don't ask them to donate $500,000. We don't ask them to meet with the Black National Caucus. They apologize, and then you know what? The rest of the world moves on. But what I feel like is happening here, and that's how in the black community, like we've been told that's how the process works, right? Think about that, Bert. That's how the process works. Oh, somebody does a blackface. Oh, it was a misunderstanding. We got it. Okay? Is that person really racist? Probably not. Was it ignorant? Probably so. Okay, we understand it. We move forward. We don't like it. We would love to hold them accountable. But society and having a lot of black people in positions of power, we don't have the governability to do that. But what we feel like happens with Kyrie is even after an apology, it's not enough. We feel like there needs to be more. And a lot of people I've spoken to over the last couple of days talk about this thing. Older mentors of mine talk about buck breaking. So we talk about tropes. This is something that we feel like in the black community that happened way back in the day, where if there was a slave that was defiant, right, he got broken in front of everybody in order to show that he was not in a position of power. And that at the end of the day, he had to do what he was told to do because that's what was mandated of him. And there's a bigger situation going on. What's happening with Kyrie Irving? If the Nets don't want him to be there, just say you don't want him to be there. But we should hold everybody accountable, even owners of teams accountable, with things that are happening in other countries, i.e. China and Uyghurs and the Muslim genocide that is occurring, that we hear Enes Kanter talk about. But we don't keep the same energy for everybody. We pick and choose what conversational points we want to make more polarizing. And I might lose my job. I might lose deal opportunities in the future for speaking out about even the platforms that continue to promote and profit a movie that is considered anti-Semitic to billions of people. They don't have to be accountable. Who is accountable? But we're going to put everything on the shoulders of Kyrie Irving, who, even though he said, I cannot be anti-Semitic because if I know where I came from, stating that he's one of the 4 lost tribes. He's saying that blacks and Jews come from the same entity, the same thing. But we don't want to understand nuance. We want to be triggered by words, and we like fire, and we like things that are, going viral on social media, and everybody has some kind of hot take, and we're calling people idiots, and we're calling people names because that's what we do. We just destroy each other. I ain't gonna destroy each other, man. I'm not gonna do that. Is Kyrie Irving anti-Semitic? Hell no. Could he have gone about it maybe a different way? That's what I would have advised him to do. But I'm not gonna let you guys sit out here and make this dude out to be like he is a villain, like he is a bad person. He is looking to explore his heritage. Now, you can crucify me if you want. I don't give a damn anymore. It's time for people to start speaking out with nuance and speaking out on the principles they stand for. That's all I'll say.
Now, you can't say it no better than that. I'm very proud of this man for many reasons. And mainly for what he spoke there. He did not just speak about blacks. He also brought up the atrocities of what was happening in China. For those who don't know, Joe Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, his company, Alibaba, in China, had a very pivotal role in financing a genocide for Muslims over in China. Enes Kanter has pointed this out countless times. The National Basketball Association claims that they are against injustice. They are against all of these things. But do you know what they did? Absolutely nothing. They did nothing. They made a commercial. Enes Kanter, they had a little meeting thing where they had Enes Kanter at and said he's doing a good thing. Then Enes Kanter kept going because he was actually a fighter for the truth. And still is. As my sinuses are into overdrive right now. in his canter, told the whole world where we were as a society. Showed it in mirror of where we were. All about finance. And once he pointed out LeBron James wasn't nothing and didn't stand for anything, everyone took it as a joke. But he started writing images on his shoe. And then he was dropped from the Boston Celtics, just like that, like he couldn't play basketball anymore. Because China took the Boston Celtics, they told him, don't wear those shoes. Displaying those images. He wore those shoes. And China took Boston Celtics off of their network. So no one in China could watch the Boston Celtics game. As long as Enes Kanter was in the NBA. So, what did they do? They fired or removed Enes Kanter. They fired and removed Enes Kanter. Now, let's get to the gist of things. Jay Williams pointed out these facts because these are facts. He spoke on Amazon. How Amazon has billions of people that watch Amazon. And Jeff Bezos, who's like the richest man in the world, or one of them, right next to Elon Musk, is not being held accountable for putting the movie on his platform. If it was so offensive, why aren't they fighting to get the movie taken down? We have stated this from the very beginning, but the NBA seems to keep ignoring this and acting as if Kyrie Irving produced this film or anything else. And he's right. They're breaking Kyrie Irving in front of the public and trying to make an example of him. And CJ McCollum, there's a reason they chose you to be president. And Jaylen Brown, who's vice president, don't agree with this at all. So, if you know Kyrie Irving, then you know this is bull it. Well, Whoopi Goldberg was dating Ted Danson from Cheers. And everybody, to make a mockery or to stand up to everybody, it's like, what the hell are you doing with Whoopi Goldberg? Like, what are you doing? So to speak out, right, against this injustice about him being with Whoopi, they doubled down, saying, okay, Whoopi was thinking this is okay. She went against the brothers for being upset about it. He comes to the Friars Club in New York City, dressed in blackface. Did a speech. Whoopi's laughing with him as he's making a statement, and they kiss. And they thought this was funny. People said, if you think this is a joke, I'm out. Paul Mooney was out. Melba Moore, she was out. A lot of people were disturbed with seeing that image. A lot of people was like, what the hell? But did they make Ted Danson go do sensitivity training? Did they made him go through any of all these tropes that they put in place? No, they did not. He apologized. He paid some money, and the world moved on. Ted Danson said a bunch of stuff about the N-word. I want some watermelon. All kind of crazy stuff he did while in blackface. It wasn't like when Drake did it and he was trying to send a message when he was in Canada. This was about a play about him not being black enough. And said, oh, like if I'm in blackface now am I black? But it was to show an example of how people were being discriminated for not being black enough. But it could be used against him, as it was with, like I've already known about it. So when Pusha showed it, it was gonna have an impact to the rest of the world because he twisted it to be that way. But we already knew what it was from, where the play was from, all of it. So it really didn't mean anything to me because I already knew about it and I knew the meaning of it. And it had nothing to do with what Ted Danson was trying to do. Now, people got on Howard Stern. And what Howard Stern did was dress in blackface to mock what Ted Danson had just did and shined a light on the Friars Club when he was totally against it. Now, they go back to all the old things he used to do on the Howard Stern show that was over the top. But that was all accepted.
You were right. It's so much harder to be black than it is to be Jewish. I'd kill myself if I were black.
Now, Sarah Silverman's skit was supposed to point out the atrocities of what a black person goes through in life by painting themselves black and seeing what goes through the world just by being black. She went through a whole series of events that basically did not go in her favor. And they came down on her with cancel culture, and she ended up getting fired from her show. But you know what happened? Everybody moved on. Robert Downey Jr. played a black man, a white guy playing a black man. So it wasn't like he was playing a black character. He was playing a white man who was portraying a black man in the character to show how Hollywood used to be and would take any actor and make them a nationality instead of getting actually someone who is from that nationality. So Robert Downey Jr.'s character was clearly not blackface, and it was accepted. Plus, it was funny as hell. I'm a dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. I know exactly who I am. I'm a dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. Man. See, if it ain't funny, if it's funny, you ain't in trouble. Plus, it made sense. Now, that's how it was done the right way. If you're going to do it the right way. So that wasn't blackface for those who wanted to get that controversy going. That wasn't that. Do I think Sarah Silverman is funny? Well, some of the stuff she does, but she's mostly trying to get her podcast show going and all of this. But she's okay, but she's not like the funniest woman at all. She's like a supporting role character in movies. Mm-mm. See, it's gonna get even more crazy because now they're gonna start to walk it back. Yeah, well, see, they want to walk it back. Well, I'm like this. I feel that the whole world is caught up in a frenzy because we can have movies like 300 come out and no one can say this movie is racially violent and fueled. 300 came out and nobody said nothing. Everything was allowed to be. For the Arcadians, everything. This is their history. As fictionalized as it was, they look at 300 as if this is what we come from. As you can tell from my eyes, dog, I'm gone. My allergies have gotten a hold of me today. But I want to point out some things to you. Captain Jack was so quick to go off on Kanye West, right? Steven Jackson, where you at? with this thing with Kyrie Irving. Where you at? Why we haven't heard from you? Black man, black strong man. Where you go? Where you go? Where you go? Captain Jack? Where you go? They attacking your bro. They attacking your brother, Kyrie Irving, who bought your brother Georgie family a house. According to you. I ain't heard you say it. Matt Barnes had a lot to say about M.A. Udoka. Then all his dirt started coming up again. He ain't got nothing to say about Kyrie, do he? He ain't speaking. Now he keeping his mouth shut. Why you ain't talking? You know the old saying, freedom of speech, but watch what you say. Because none of these dudes out here was following the amendments. There's always the small print. It's always the fine print. Right? But where's all these people? Gilbert Arenas, where are you at? Kyrie Irving was your friend. Y'all had a shooting contest in the gym. I don't see you talking about anything. You staying quiet. Why they so quiet now? They don't stand up for their brother that would have stood with them. People talk, you know. Oh, we finna get into more of this. Don't worry, it's a lot more coming. Because then we got Kyrie's live stream to talk about, and then what's detailed and what happened, and you're gonna find out why the suspension was the way it did and why it happened the way it did. We're gonna explain all of it to you. But we want to go over this first. Then we'll get to the rest. I'm out.